Guys, in this video I will be discussing ASP.NET Core CRUD operations using Entity Framework, and also I will be discussing OpenAPI using Swagger tool. So whenever we develop any web API, we normally use Postman or Fiddler to test those APIs. In this video I will be showing the new way how we can test our web API. So documenting and testing web API is not an easy job. So in this tutorial I will be showing the easiest way you can actually document your web API and you can test using Swagger tool. So what is basically web API and what is basically OpenAPI? OpenAPI is a specification used for documenting the capabilities of your API. Swagger supports this tool using its own UI. Let's see how we can do this in Visual Studio. So in this tutorial I will be using Visual Studio 2019 to create my ASP.NET Core project. I have clicked open new project. So in this I will be selecting ASP.NET Core web application. So let's name it as employee management system. So create the project. So here I will be selecting API template, and configure for HTTP is not required since we are using localhost, and you can see the template is 3.1.20. so we still have an option to select 5.0. Still I will go with ASP.NET Core 2.1 version. So let's create the project. So Visual Studio has created a project for us. So in this tutorial I will be using code first approach. So let me go and create a folder called models. So I will be adding a new class to this model folder, which is my employee class. I will be making use of data annotation here to create my database. So here I will be using prop employee ID, which is my primary key. So here I will be defining this employee key is my primary key. Control dot dot. Using data annotation we are going to create a primary key. So whenever you define a property with type key, so it denotes one or more properties that uniquely identify an entity. So next thing is I will be creating its employees other properties such as employee name, employee department, and employee salary. So let me go and create prop, which is of type string name. Next one will be my department, string department. As of now we are fine with these three properties. Let me go and define its attributes, such as like what is the type of this column. So let me use column. So control dot dot, using schema I will be defining. So what is the type? So type name is equal to, this is basically nvarchar. I will give 20 or 100 you can give. So same thing I will copy and put it for department. So here I will be performing CRUD operation on this employee class. Let us go and create one more class, which is my DB context class. So let me name it as employee DB context. So here we have to write our DB logic. So let me go and add NuGet packages which are required to connect to database. So first thing is Entity Framework Core. So here you can see the latest version is 5.0.11. I will be selecting 3.1.20. Accept the license. Let Visual Studio install this. So it is installed. So we need two more packages. I will be selecting tools, SQL Server. Again you have to select 3.1.0, 1.20 and install. See the output here. It is still installing. So this may take some time, depends on your internet speed. So installation is done now. So one more package we need is tools. Again you have to select 3.1.20. Accept the license. So my all three packages have been included into my project. So let me go and inherit DB context class using entity Microsoft.entityframework.core. So since this ASP.NET Core project comes with dependency injection, I will be using controller constructor dependency injection here. So employee DB context. So DB context option. So here I will be passing my employee DB context. Let me name it as options. So here we have to extend base class options. And next thing is we have to register our employee class here. So using dbset, which is of type employee, and we can name it as employees. So now let me go and create my database. So in this database I do not have employee management system. So I will go and create my new database, employee management system. For that you have to use startup.cs. In that you have to include your services. Services.add DB context, which is of type my employee DB context. So here you have to use lambda expression. We have to use lambda expression. So let me include this folder here. So let me use options dot use SQL Server control dot. Then we have to use our connection string. For that we have to use configuration. Something is wrong with this command. We have to use SQL configuration dot get connection string. There you have to specify your connection string. As of now I will give my dev connection string, which this will be included in my apps settings.json. So now I have included my connection string. let me go and create this connection string in app settings.json. So for this, what you have to do, connection string, then you have to specify the name of the connection string, which is my dev connection string, and you have to give server credentials here. So let me copy paste that. Here I will be using my local server, so for that I have given dot, which is nothing but localhost. So let me name it as employee management system. So integrated security is true, multiple active result sets equal to 2. So now we have configured our SQL server. So let us run migration script now. So in order to run migration script, you have to go and open package manager console. If it is not available here, you can go and see here other windows, package manager console. So here I will be creating migration script. How we can create, I will show it. For that you have to give add migration. Let me name it as initial setup. So it will build the project. So build is failed. Let us see what is the issue with build. So we are missing this one. So we have to give. Let me run this again. Now Visual Studio will create a folder for you with migration. See, now it has added a folder with migration. So this is how Visual Studio will go and create a migration folder along with script. What and all we have mentioned in the employee DB context, it will add accordingly. So here it will go and create a table called employees. So let me run this script, update database. From this, Visual Studio will create database with the name employee management system. So it has been done. Now let us see whether it is created or not. Let me refresh. It has been created. So let's see what and all it has created. So inside table it has created employees table. So there is nothing data here. Let me see the design. So employee ID, which is a primary key here, since I have mentioned primary key, here you can see this identity specification set to S, and it will add 1 by 1 plus 1 for every new records. So now next thing is we are going to create an web API controller to perform CRUD operation on this employee class. So we'll go and create a controller. Click on controller folder, add controller. Here select API. So here you have to select API controller with actions using entity framework. Here you have to select what is the model class. Let me select, we have created employee. Then data context class, which is of employee DB context. So what is the name of that controller? Let me name it as employees controller. So we'll click on add. If something is required, it will ask for NuGet packages to include. So let's see how it is going to create. If there is any error, we have to include those NuGet packages using manage NuGet packages by right clicking your project. By using scaffolding, it will generate the code for get, post, put and delete on your employee table. See, there was an error with this, so we have to download code generation.util file. Let me go and install that NuGet package utils. code generation dot utils. This one we have to include here. Let me select 3.1.20. Install this. Accept the license. Let me build. Everything is fine. You have to select 3.1.2. Now it has been installed properly. So let me go and try now. So we have to add a controller. We have to select API using Entity Framework. We have to specify the class name here, employee. We have to select this, then I think something wrong with this packages. I have modified this code generation.utils to 3.1.5 and designed to 3.1.5. So my code has been created for you. Now we can see what this API does. So basically I will be having dependency injection here using controller dependency injection. So here I have a method called get employees, which basically returns my employees list. So next thing is get employee using an ID individual employees. So put employee and post employee, and one more will be my delete employee. So by default these many things are created. I think this is enough for our CRUD operation. Let's see how we can test this. So build is succeeded. So now our application is working fine. So let us integrate Swagger to this. In order to integrate Swagger to this, you have to go to manage NuGet packages again. Here you have to select this /buckle.asp.NET Core. You can install latest version here. So we have successfully installed this Swagger. So let us see how we can integrate this in our startup class. So go to startup class. Here you have to include your Swagger code. For that you have to go to this URL. This I will paste it in description section. You have to copy these two lines, services.add Swagger generation. That you have to put inside configure services. Then one more thing is you have to use this one inside your configure method. So you have to import. Okay, so this is all done now. We'll see this in action now. Let me rebuild the solution. Now all you have to do, you have to type the swagger /index.html to see whether it is working or not. Boom, something is wrong with this. Let us see what is wrong with this. I have missed one thing here. So let me add that app that use Swagger. With this you can able to see the content of Swagger now. Let me refresh this page. It is working as expected now. So you can see my employee controller has API get, post, then again get, put and delete. So let's see what it does. So let me click and try it out, execute. The results will be empty because we do not have any data inside my employees table. So let me go and add the data using post method. So this is my post method. Here try it out how to give. So employee ID anyways that will be primary key, so it will be automatically added. So name can be John and department is HR. So let me run this, execute. So response, you can see it has been created. So 201 means it has created. Let me go and check in my table. See, it has been added. Now like this you can test all the methods inside this. So if you want to get again, you can click execute. See, now you can see one employee. So like this you can try it out, put and delete. So what is the ID of this? You have to give, if you give ID is 1, and you have to give the name of the, I will make it John 1. I will add HR department. So let me go and execute this. You just refresh this, it is not yet updated. The reason is bad request. See, this is telling bad request because we have not added employee ID here. Let me add this. Now we'll see. See, it has been added. You can go and check John 1 HR department. So this is how you can test all your API using Swagger. So let me repeat what I have done once again. So I have created a class, employee class inside model. Then I have added employee DB context. Then I have registered my employee class. Then I went to application app settings.json. Here I have added my connection string. Then in program.cs I have registered my, in startup.cs I have registered my DB context using my connection string. Next I went to manage NuGet package. There I have added my swashbuckle. Let me show the name of it, swashbuckle.asp.NET Core. Then I configured that inside my startup class services that had Swagger Gen using this. You can name whatever you want here. So next thing is inside my configure method I added 2 lines of code, app.useSwagger, then Swagger endpoint I have given. This is how you can test your APIs using Google Chrome and using Swagger UI. I hope you have enjoyed this video by learning Swagger. Please do like and subscribe for more videos. In the coming section I will be using the same project and I will be doing UI related things using Angular 11. Thank you for watching.